This meeting is being recorded.
Hi everyone, Sherry with the Pampered Chef. We are here to share with you an easy budget-friendly recipe. It is our goal to come on every Tuesday at 4 p.m. There's someone different who comes on and shares a recipe with all of you. If you have any questions and you're watching this recording, please ask your consultant who invited you or gave you this recording any questions that you might have, okay? So tonight we're going to make a braised chicken recipe, and this is one of my ultimate favorite recipes because it's full of flavor, it's inexpensive, and it's delicious. So you can't beat it. It's 3 for 3. So what I'm going to do is take my micro cooker, and I have 2 cups of water in here, and I'm just going to add a cup of rice. Because I am going to put my braised chicken over rice. Now, if you want your rice to have more flavor, you can go ahead and add 2 cups of chicken stock instead of water. I'm not going to need that because you'll see why when we make the sauce for this chicken dish, we're going to have all the flavor we need. So then I would just put my microwave on 12 minutes when I'm ready to do that. I'm not going to do it yet because I don't need my rice right now. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do, right before you guys came on, I took 4 slices of bacon, I chopped it up, and I cooked it right here in my cast iron Dutch oven, okay? And all those bacon bits are all at the bottom here. I did drain off the grease because I don't need it because we're gonna get grease from the chicken, which is gonna add layers of flavor, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and heat this back up because we're going to simmer, we're going to brown our chicken, okay? So in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and slice up my leeks. If you have never worked with leeks before, it's in the onion family. It's actually much more mild than a regular onion. It cooks sweeter, so it's great in a braised recipe or slow cooked recipe. Now the ends, the dark ends are really fibrous and you can't really cook them down enough to have them be palatable. So what I do with those is I save them, I put them in the freezer, and they're great for soup stock. So how you would treat the leek leaves is like a bay leaf. So you could put it in there while you make your stock. At the end of the soup recipe, you're just gonna pull the leaves out, and you're just gonna get all that flavor, but you're not gonna have the fibrous mess at the end. I did have a knife sit right out here, but I don't know what I did with it. Oh, it's right here. Okay, so all I'm going to do with these is I'm just going to slice them in circles. And you can think of these, you know, much like a scallion. Okay. And I washed them really thoroughly before I started. They can be very dirty because they grow in soil. And the soil kind of gets stuck in between the leaves. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to pop it in here. And that's going to go in my freezer for soup stock down the road. All right. And I think we have this warm enough to start browning our chicken. So what I want to tell you about the chicken, you're going to use chicken thighs. You can use a combo of chicken thighs and drumsticks. You want the skin on and the bone in. The reason for that is flavor. Okay. And you want to season it with, I'm using our lemon pepper rub, and you want to season both sides. And what I like to tell people is for rule of thumb, no naked spots. So just sprinkle over the skin until you really have no naked spots, okay? I'm gonna put this skin side down. I don't know if you guys can hear the sear, but the reason I have my chicken on a paper plate with a paper towel is before I seasoned my chicken, I dried my chicken with the paper towel. I really put a lot of pressure on it and got all the juice out. The reason you would want to do that is so that you get a really crispy skin, okay? If you want the skin to be super crispy, just dry your chicken. So you saw the bottom of my pan. It had like brown all over it and looks like I'll never be able to clean my pan. That actually is going to add so much flavor to the dish that we're making. And as soon as I add the cooking wine, that bottom fond is going to come all up off the pan and into the sauce, and it makes it taste amazing. So you're going to love it. All right, so we got my leeks. We got my bacon. I'm browning my chicken. Then I just need 1 cup of chicken stock. You guys, I know I come on here and I say this every time I do a live video that I'm using chicken stock. Better than bouillon will change your life. It is the stock. It's like making your own without all the work. So it has tons of flavor. So it's 1 teaspoon to 1 cup of water. So what I did is before I came on here, I just took 1 cup of water and 1 teaspoon, and I added 2 tablespoons of flour to this, okay? Because we're gonna want to thicken up that sauce when it's done, all right? And I'm just gonna give that chicken like another minute. So what's gonna happen is I'm not gonna cook that chicken through. I'm just browning it is all I'm doing right now. Then I'm going to remove that chicken and add my leeks and add I'm gonna build the sauce. And then I'm gonna put my chicken back and I'm gonna cover it with spinach and let that simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes and it'll cook up to a nice, thick, amazing sauce, okay? So let me see how this looks. Nice. So you can do this with chicken breast, but the difference is there's no skin on it. It's not going to crisp up like really nice and have that nice crisp look to it. And sometimes the chicken will dry out if you do chicken breast. But my suggestion is, and I've done this before, if you're going to do chicken breast, get the chicken breast that has the skin on it and the bone in it. So, you know, they sell the packs of the breast with the skin on and the bone in. It's definitely just going to have a lot more flavor if you do that, okay? So let's see. I'm going to keep that in there a little bit longer because that's not quite as brown as I want it. I'm also working on a small burner, so it's going to take a little longer than it usually does. But I'm not going to keep you guys hanging on the line. So even if it's not completely brown the way I like it, just know when you're doing this recipe at home, you can brown it as long as you like. Okay. So now what's going to happen is I have probably about 2 or 3 tablespoons of oil left on the bottom here from the skin. And I have the little bits of bacon bits in there as well. And I'm going to go ahead and just keep that in there. And I'm going to add my leeks. And then all you want to do with the leeks is just saute them enough so that you're just bringing out the fragrance and the flavor, okay? And that's all you need to do because once I finish with this and put the cover on, it's just gonna sit and simmer anyways. So let me just tell you a little bit about our Dutch oven. This is the cover to our Dutch oven. I don't know if you can see this, but there's like, I don't even know, like these pimply things on here. And what happens is when you cover your pot with this, all of the steam collects on these little pieces here and it rains down on your food. So as it's cooking slowly, there's constant moisture going into your food and it is a great way to slow cook or to braise. Some people get intimidated when they hear the word braise, right? It's a French style of cooking and it sounds so fancy. It's really just building flavor. That's all you're doing when you're braising. You're just building flavor, which is what we're doing right here. Okay. All right, so that looks good. I want to bring this over to you guys. I know this isn't convenient that you can't see in the pot, but there's a reason why I want to show this to you. So doesn't it look like my pan is just a hot mess? That hot mess on the bottom of this pan is bountiful flavor, okay? So when I add my cooking wine, that's going to pull up all of that fond. Now, just so you know, cooking wine, you want about a half a cup. Cooking wine, or you can use a Chardonnay, a Pinot Grigio, whatever you have, if you have something like that on hand. You guys, the alcohol is going to be cooked out of it. And the only thing that you're going to be left with is the flavor. So I just want you to be aware of that. You're not going to have any alcohol flavor when you cook with cooking wine or a white wine, okay? And so what I do is just keep that on there for about 2 minutes, and I'm cooking that wine out of the pot. So I'm just cooking the wine out and just being left with the flavor, okay? Now, if you don't like wine, or you don't drink wine, or you just don't want it, you know, to use it, it's not something you keep in your house, you can go ahead and just do half of that chicken stock that we talked about to get that fond all off the bottom of the pan, okay? Yeah, so that's all coming off nicely. I'm using my fish spatula and just helping to release all that off the bottom. Because you guys, like, you want that flavor as much as possible. You want that flavor. It's so good. All right, so next step, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of butter because we're making a roux. So if you don't know what a roux is, it's a thickening sauce you make with butter and flour and a little bit of chicken stock. And as you cook it, it thickens the sauce. So, and the butter just brings out great flavor too. I mean, when I say there's a lot of flavor here, I am not joking. All right, and I'm going to do 2 garlic cloves. No peeling of the garlic. You just pop it in here. My tool's right there. You know, I could use that. You never have to touch the garlic. That's an important thing to know about our garlic press. All right. Then if anything gets stuck in there, there's a little bit stuck on the bottom, you have this little brush. You just pop it in and you can get the little stucked pieces out of the bottom. Stucked. Isn't that a word? Stucked. The little stuck pieces, see that? So that's how you get those out. Easy peasy. And then I'm just going to stir this up. Oh my God, it smells so good. All right, so now I'm just going to add a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, which you guys, I kind of don't really measure, but you can certainly measure out a tablespoon yourself. I kind of know what a tablespoon looks like. So I'm going to add that. I'm going to do a quick mix because remember I added my flour to my stock. I'm going to just pop that in. And then I'm going to give this a good stir in here. So flavor, and more flavor. So while that cooks down for just a few minutes, I'm going to give that about 3 or 4 minutes to reduce down. And while that's happening, I just want to share with you guys taste buds. Taste buds is this recipe I got from my taste buds from about a year ago. So if you haven't heard of taste buds before, it's a subscription that we do, a Pampered Chef does. And each and every month you get 3 recipes, 3 seasonings, plus access to what's called the Hub, which is for subscribers only, with all kinds of other recipes that you can do with the seasonings that you have, okay? So we take our taste buds and just hole punch the top corner, and the taste buds go right on a ring. And then whenever I'm getting my shopping ready for the week, we go through the recipe cards, and I usually pick 2 to 3 recipes that I want to do that week. Really and truly takes the guesswork out of what's for dinner. And the month of September 22, when we're recording this, they're on sale for 25% off. So there's still time to try out those taste buds before the sale ends on the 30th of September 2022. If you have any questions about taste buds, please reach out to your consultant and they'll be able to answer that for you. Okay. All right. So now we have a nice, thick, amazing sauce going on right here. I'm going to show you guys the sauce. So you see that? And all the stuff kind of pulled off the bottom. So that's all in the sauce right now. And I'm going to turn this all the way down to simmer. I really want that as like almost as low as it can go, to simmer for 20 minutes or so. Adding my bacon back. Adding my chicken back right over the top. I'm going to pour all that juice in. We don't want to waste any of that deliciousness. Now, the spinach is just going to go right over the top. You guys will notice that I'm not going to stir in the spinach. It will be overdone if you stir it in and wilt, like, you know, down to nothing. But if you just put it on the top and let it simmer with the rest of the dish, your spinach is going to be perfect for this dish. So I'm not going to stir that. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to go ahead and put my top on. And now that baby is going to simmer for about 20 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and put my rice on 12 minutes. Dinner done, inexpensive, delicious. And if you want to know any more about this recipe or any taste bud recipe, please reach out to your consultant. And remember, we do this live video every single Tuesday at 4 p.m. If you can ever drop in live, we would love to have you. Okay. Have a wonderful day.